It must be a family thing, you know, this, or a management thing where you just sort of abandon your vehicle in the middle of the yard. Yeah, I'll do it. Happily. You bring the welder, I'll happily do it. Yeah, because they're dragging it out. Yeah, because I'd rather you two were combining than hanging around the yard disturbing everybody. 22nd of July. I feel like combining is getting away from us now. We haven't really done anything of any great note since Friday night. We tried a bit of combining yesterday. They didn't combine Saturday and Sunday. Cultivators couldn't run Saturday or Sunday. Cultivators have got running yesterday in part. Lincolnshire's too wet, so Glyn hasn't managed to go up there. He is muck spreading at the moment, and we're going to have a quick look at that. Paul has had to find work for the lorries because they obviously weren't earning. They were parked up for the weekend, weren't they?
Yeah.
You
the weekend off, but
you didn't. I saw you on Saturday.
And Sunday.
Did I see you both days? It's only because your family had gone on holiday and you're lonely. But and then Paul's busy doing the paperwork now to make sure that the trucks are up to profitability, and then we're on the mustard. So it's slow going though, isn't it? Was it 6 hours to fill a lorry?
7.5 from one field and 6 from another. Yeah.
Okay, so it's slow going, but and we've got a bit of moving about, haven't we? So we'll get that done, and then hopefully we'll get the mustard finished. Maybe not today, being Tuesday, maybe tomorrow. Then we can get back on wheat, can't we?
Yeah.
And then we've got the beans in Lincolnshire to do. That's the only crop outside of wheat at that point to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
They must be about there now.
I would have thought so. They were about a week off when we were up there, so I would say they're about ready.
Yeah, well, while it's a bit tricky, it might be worth going up there to nibble them away. But we had such a good run, didn't we? And we were really flying, and now I feel like we're falling behind. And I got this thing about finishing in July, and I feel like it's slipping away from me now, slipping away.
I have a date in my mind, and it's not in July.
I'm going to go walk round now. I'm going to go and check how much kerosene's in the dryer tank, because mentally in my mind, I think about if it's sitting in the dryer tank, I've already paid for it, so I might as well use it, as opposed to when a lorry starts coming down the drive and I know that's a new bill. But I'll go and see how much is left, and there's nothing like a bit of dryer burning in the yard, is there? That sort of smell.
I like once it gets dark and you can see the glow from the flames.
Yeah. Right, let's do that. So the mustard is going off to a different location to be stored. So they're moving the mustard, so the guys are doing the loads. There's George. And so Steve's busy getting that loaded out, then that store will be clean and fresh for this year. We've obviously already started our mustard. There's quite a lot of other mustard growers. They've also been going. Simon's giving this a birthday. So this is... Now, Tom, you must get in, otherwise I'm going to get my own phone out. Right, this is broken, so the exhaust is broken. The sensor's broken on the pipe there, so all the gases out of the exhaust are coming into the pipe and then coming into the turbo. That's not how it's supposed to run. And then it's boiling over. So we're ordering a new cap, a new sensor, a new exhaust pipe. We've got all the filters, etc. already. And then we're going on to, what's the other problem with it? Yeah, it's overheating, but we think that's blocked radiators. But we're going to try and work that out in a minute. So Simon's obviously got it outside to blow the radiators. He says he's already done 2 hours on the rads. And I don't recognise that truck. Whose is that?
That's mine. It has all my tools in the back of it.
Uh-huh. Well, you can actually use a spanner.
I know I am a spanner. I can somewhat use one as well.
I didn't know that.
No, nor did I.
I thought you were Aaron's apprentice.
I am slightly, but he's left all his tools in Kiwiland, hasn't he?
Oh, right, yeah.
If he's my apprentice, that means I can sack him.
Yeah. You have to do disciplinaries first in England. So you have to sit him down and explain to him where he's gone wrong. This isn't where you probably get two trucks and tow them apart like you would in New Zealand. Right, so this is, I bought this truck. Simon, is this the one we bought and found out that it was used to go in the marina, into the sea, putting the boat in and out? Yeah, okay. So we sent Raymond, didn't we, to go and look at the truck before we bought it to confirm it was okay. Got it back here, and we found that it'd obviously been on the back of a a dinghy into the sea because the back end. We did rebuild the back end, though, didn't we?
Yeah, the boat was on the back when they looked at it.
Was the boat on the back? No, stop it. Was it really? No, come on, you be serious. Well, it was completely pointless sending him, wasn't it? We might as well just bought it and just took a lottery win.
Right, or asked me to go.
Oh, no, you'd have got nervous going up there. It was a long way.
You have to take your own passport with
I didn't know, was the boat really on the back when he bought
Boat
it?
on the back with them.
Oh, God. Okay, well, anyway, so basically one side has broken the buck, hasn't it?
you. The other side's about to go.
Yeah, so we're...
It's about 2 mil of steel holding.
Anyway, well, this is obviously going to have warranty when you two are finished. Have you got Simon to weld it yet?
Ah, no, we're going to try and pull it off first.
Right, okay.
So we can get into it.
Right,
Pretty
okay.
good at miracles, but Russ welding. Not great.
Right, okay, well, you've been on it a while now. It'd have taken me 5 minutes to put a bit of weld on that bracket.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What's left of it?
yeah. You are dramatical, you bunch. You obviously just, you never grew up in a time with British Leyland cars, and you never grew up in a time where the only car you could afford when you first got going was 20 years old, and you had to do old Land Rovers up. This is the underside panel for Aaron's header. Goes underneath. It's got caught and it's fairly buckled up. This was £900 just for a piece of plastic. I suspect when we open the box up, you'll be surprised how small it is in that packaging. But all these £1,000 start creeping in. It's amazing what they add up to. The smallest costs are always the little purchases, never the really big ones. They're the ones that add up to be a lot of money. Right, so that's the wheat we've harvested so far. I suspect I'll have to go and ask Gordon, but there'll be excess of 3,000 tonne in there now. No, it'll be more than that. What we're talking about, that'll be 4,000 tonne. Yeah, that'd be about 4,000 tonne sat there. That's building up quite nicely. And then this is the mustard, which we run it through the cleaner. Don't know why there's a bit of chaff there, but the chaff always runs down to the outside edge. So it always looks worse than it is. But we run it through the cleaner just to take any green out when we first do it, because otherwise it heats up and then it can go off really quickly, like within a week. So we just run it through the cleaner quickly, take the green out of it so it doesn't spoil, and then when we get time we'll run it through after harvest. When we've done the wheat seed and everything, we'll put it through the plant with the colour sorter. And you see here these dark bits, it will take the dark bits out, so you'll end up with just, but it's relatively clean. You need it to be 0.3% admix and below. So if it's 3%, it's actually 10 times dirty. Well, you can imagine percentage-wise, if wheat's 2% admixture and you do 10 times, that's 20. Actually, 0.3 to 3 slows the plant down dramatically to the point for the 20 tonne an hour system can go as slow as 1 tonne an hour because of the amount of seeds and the amount of black in it. And then that makes it hugely inefficient unless, of course, you pro-ratally charge based on output. So how we combine it is really important, and we run it through, as I said, once to take out the trash, which then means that when we run it through again, it's running through already partly cleaned, which makes a big impact difference on speed. So the fans aren't on, probably because the humidity outside is probably poor. We'll have a look to just see what it is, but it's on an automatic system, so it should turn itself on and off accordingly. Right, so this is showing the store is currently at 20 degrees. The middle of the store is 20 degrees. The ambient temperature is 19.5, so that won't come on. The RH is 81. So relative humidity is RH. So there isn't enough differential. So if we look at the differential that we've got here, we've got set at a difference of 2 degrees. So 19.5 to 20, there's not 2 degrees. Ambient air anything below 88, the fans would come on, and we've got them currently on hold off at the minute. But we need to put air through at the beginning, especially where we got the heat, where we had those 30-degree heats and things, plus to take the heat out of it so the crop doesn't sweat, especially right at the very beginning of combining. When you've got immature grains, you've got a bit of green, that's what creates the heating up. Very much like if you cut the grass in the garden and pile it up in the corner, it starts to combust basically and starts to reduce because it gets so hot that it starts to burn away, and essentially you don't want that to happen in a store. So we get air to go through, so we can just put the air through, which dries the green out, makes it fresh. And then also, because they're big fans, if you put it in, for example, at 15.5, the airflow through that over a period of time will drop that down to probably 13.5, so you won't have a moisture issue. But just to put it into perspective in terms of relative humidity, 65 and below is 15% and below, so 88, there's a relationship between making the grain wetter, and that's dependent on depth. Because the grain is so tall and high in the stores, if that was only at 2 meters height, like a standard store, you could actually be pumping wet into a store. Because we're so deep, proportionately it doesn't do the same, but we have to be mindful of when the fans come on and off, so we don't actually, if it's raining outside, the fans came on, you could then get on the pipes about a 2-inch crust where it goes wet, and then the air can no longer get through to cool the grain, which then you get the bugs because you've sealed the outside of the pipe with blowing water in basically. They've had to strip the fan apart, so as Gordon pointed out, it runs 24 hours a day, 10 months of the year, and 2 years ago we put a new motor on because that went, but actually what's happened is, boy, you smell it, the bearing has failed, so they're currently stripping it apart. They're going to put a new bearing on here, etc., then put it back together, so we can't run the cleaner at the moment because the bearing has failed on the motor. So Gordon and Steve are just currently in the midst of fixing this, get this up and running again. Chaser bins are dropped off at the moment because we run a fairly light number of lorries, the light number of tractors. Days like this, we drop them off, and we put the one's gone on a mower to go do SFI, etc. Another one's goes on a little 3-meter subsoiler, nips around pulling out tram lines. Freddie's pulling out tram lines as well. The muck spreaders are here, and then up the top, oh Tom, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? There's a lorry up there loading up straw. So they got, I'm not 100% sure why they put the straw all the way up there, but they've got the straw up there, and they've got lorries in loading it up, and then of course as the lorries are coming out, it's plastering the concrete in mud. We haven't seen mud around here for, well, I suppose March was the last time we saw mud, oddly. So new discs on the Joker. Might get the grass to grow, look. We had a young apprentice called James Eastwood in last week. Nice young man, 15 years old, from a Comberton local school, came here on a week's work experience, and sort of got him doing a few jobs, and he grass seeded this and raked this up to make this grow, so the rain might actually make that grow now. But on the that's a different plate. What's going on there? Looks like somebody's made that plate in the workshop. Interesting. New discs on to enable us to cut into the ground, because they're shaped, you see, like belled like that. So as they wear back, they start to lose the curve, so they get straighter basically, and at that point, when they curve run at an angle, they dig through the land like this, and as they get straighter, they then ride on top of the land as opposed to digging in. That's why we have to change the discs. So we just ordered a new set, so we always keep a set in advance, You never know when you might need them. Now it's rained a bit, they might not have quite the same wear rate. The boys are up there moving the cultivators and things out the field. It looks like Fred Astaire is actually just subsoiled around everything. He takes no prisoners. He's sort of got fed up waiting for them, so he's just gone round them. So they're moving everything out the field, back onto the main yard. And you see it starting to get lined up, which is, I daren't tell them they put it in the wrong place, because if Chris comes out here and starts having to dig the yard out, they'll be moving it again. But start to see it all lined up. Really needed to go in the shed of dreams, but we need it to dry up a bit. And Chris, what we're doing with Chris is we're going to have a look at what Chris is doing, but we're trying to catch up with some jobs that while we're doing all this yard and building this shed, we had to put off doing maintenance jobs to the houses. He's taking down the chimney, rebuilding the chimney. We've got father's wall to redo, knock all the render off on one end, redo that. We've got damp coming in there. We've got new doors to fit in the industrial estate, and the list carries on. And they need to do a month of July, we need to do a catch-up. Then we can look to get started back on this while it's dry, get this redone, get it stoned, get it ready for concreting. And then when I put my big boy pants on, I'll work out when I can afford to concrete at the yard. There's nothing like a bit of torture of mud ending up on my new concrete to make me want to do that sooner, that's for sure. But, I'm really pleased to see that the lorries are coming in and taking the straw away really quickly, which is just wonderful news, because I get really nervous about straw stacks, etc. Not only the mess and that sort of thing, but also the fire risk. And getting straw moved and getting it away is paramount for this business.
No, we've just done a sample.
Oh, what was it? What?
11.2.
I'll have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah? All right, yeah, because I'd rather you two were combining than hanging around the yard disturbing everybody. Just tested the mustard, 11.2, not brilliant moisture, want it under 9, but the thing is that there's a lot of cost now. There's a trade-off between these guys all stood around in the yard doing jobs. It might not be the most efficient way of doing things, or do I get combining on what is a relatively low yielding crop, 1.5 tonne a hectare, get 100 tonnes. It's cheaper to dry that and pay for the drying costs than it is to have all the people running around the yard looking for jobs. That's my theory. So we'll ask him to get them combining. Right, we're inside the canteen room. We've got strict instruction from Carol not to get her face on the camera because she might come up on the police search. So here we are. Here she is in here from the Cracker Sparrows. You often see her in at 7:30 in the morning, getting all the food ready for about 2:30 kick out for everybody. How many meals you got today?
26.
26 to make today. And is it spaghetti bolognese?
Lasagna Tuesday.
Oh, lasagna. So it's lasagna Tuesday. And have a look inside the oven. There you go. So there's lasagna's been made. There's a special one in the bottom. Who's getting special?
We've got one gluten-free.
Okay. So got a gluten-free. That's for Kieran, yeah. So she's looking after him separately.
Definitely.
And then all the food gets laid out in the bags in here. And then each bag is now named for each person to make sure we get them back, because we weren't getting them back, were we? No. And then, so yeah, looking nice. It must be a family thing, this, or a management thing, where you just sort of abandon your vehicle in the middle of the yard. Are you all right, Father?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sort of abandon your vehicle in the middle of the yard. Got a car park.
How's it going, all right?
All right.
Weather's not looking so brilliant, is it?
No, we are going to go combining now. It's 11.2%. So we're just going to do a bit. And this
is mustard.
Mustard, yeah. We're just going to do a bit and just keep nibbling away, because if we don't, we'll soon get behind.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Feeling like we haven't achieved a lot in the last 4 or 5 days.
Well, at least you've had a weekend.
Well, some did. You might have done.
But it's looking good.
Yeah, they're now found that the buck on the back of the Hilux is rotten.
Oh.
So instead of welding it up just to keep it going, they decided to do a proper job right in the middle of harvest. So now I've got to go find a new buck to buy, and now I've got to get it resprayed, and then we've got to put a new buck on there. So
Right.
it's turned into a job now.
Can't you just dodge it for the
I
moment?
know. Should have got you on it. You'd have bit of baler twine. You'd have strapped that down, wouldn't you?
I'd have bodged that for you.
Yeah, I know you would have done. Yeah.
Because, I mean, there are plenty of bucks around. It's just a question of finding the right one at the right place.
But I've got to get it painted.
Yeah. So
I just
do
had
that here, can't you?
I just had a price for a drop side aluminium one, which I thought would be quite a good idea, like they have in
2,500?
nearly 3,
Yeah.
and that's in like having New Zealand and Australia,
What year is that one?
2013.
So it's 12 years old.
Yeah, and we get rid of them at 15, buy them at 5, keep them 10 years.
I think I'd get rid of that one now then, James, and actually replace it for another one, because it'll be cheaper in the end.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to
Is
have.
it,
I haven't got time
dangerous,
for that.
Or is it? Will it not last the harvest?
It'd be all right as long as you weren't stood in the back going around a corner.
Oh, that's fine. Just put a bit of. Put something on it.
Problem
I'll
is,
strap
Father,
it.
it'd be all right if you were left-hand drive, but if you're going round and round about the wrong way, it might shoot off.
Oh, only the others the same. Have you checking them all?
Yeah,
Because if it's gone in one
they're,
place,
they're all
it
being
just-
serviced and they're all being done while it rains.
So it's just a Toyota pickup you're looking for.
No, don't go and look, because I know what you do. You send me like 30 emails
Absolutely.
thinking it's helpful, but it's not helpful. Just you leave it to me.
You want another buck?
No, please leave it to me. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. Microsoft is not ready for that quad.
To spend your money.
No, you don't. You just
It's
sort
the
of
opposite of skiing.
skiing.
Skiing, spending the kids' inheritance. You know?
You've done that. Spending the kids' inheritance. So Tom is dealing with all of the orders which have come in for merchandise, and he gets them dispatched, etc. So how many have you got to do today?
We only got one that came in yesterday, so we're up to date from yesterday.
And how many have you done this week so far?
About 100 maybe.
Right. Okay. So you're going to very kindly send my suit, aren't you, to the post it?
Yes.
Yeah, because what an ordeal that was. I went to London, and I haven't told this story, Tom, have I? No. I went to London in my suit, and it obviously was too big. So I went to the shop. So I went to Hackett, and I said, "Ken, I'll buy some new clothes." So I walk out with new clothes. They get a sale. I leave in my suit. They get it altered, and because I needed 2 inches taken out of the trousers and out of the back, and they said we can't do that unless you have it dry cleaned. We need it dry cleaned. I said, well, okay, well you dry clean it and just charge me whatever you want for the time it takes to get it dry cleaned and messing about. No, you can't do that. So I then have to come all the way back to Cambridge to get it dry cleaned, and now I've got to post it all the way back down because they couldn't just offer that service because they refused to alter it unless it's been dry cleaned for the health and safety of the tailors. I couldn't believe it. I was so frustrated. It's only the second time I've ever worn it. Anyway, so that's why we've got to send it.
Send it now.
Yeah, get it done.
Get her gone.
Yeah, and then I'll probably have a victory meal and I'll have to get it re-altered back out. So we've got Kieran NZ over there. We've got Aaron over here. We've got Kieran down there. And just over the other side of the hedge there, we've got Chris mowing some SFI areas, doing that. So, and then we've got a pickup over here. There's no telling who that is, but we've had a fire on a pump. So every day they check the pumps to make sure that the pumps on the back of the chaser bins work for fire. And somehow it's caught a bit of, the exhaust has caught a bit of dust or something alight, and then that's then caused a fire on the back when he's chaser binning. The lorry driver, fortunately, Shamrock saw it So Tom will put the picture up so you can see the damage it's done. So we've now got to strip that apart. We have actually got spare pumps. Where pumps die, we end up stripping them, keeping them, and then I think we can cannibalise one to get it going again. So the very purpose of it is to put fires out, and of course it caused a fire, but there we go. And then so that combine's full, that one's getting there. So we've got 2 lorries running on the mustard because it's being slow. I've got a horrible feeling now we've only got 2 lorries, we're going to need 3. So Paul might have to get some more lorries out here. So we're in the Madingley block, getting these fields done. There's a nice big block here. Sandy's on his own over at Bar Hill. He's doing that block, and then he's going to move to the far side of Madingley, which is we can't get to because of the bridge isn't wide enough over the A428 for us to get backwards and forwards other than in a pickup. So he'll go and do those, and then by tomorrow lunch, if we're lucky, we'll have finished the mustard. But it keeps threatening to rain. Just had a moisture reading come in from Gordon at the grain store, Coton, which is just finished from Mrs. Bradford's farm. So that was 11%. So we've got a little bit of drying there. It's got to be under 9, and so slow progress, but nibbling away. And then back at base, we got Tom taking the back of the Hilux apart, which has turned into be problematic. Of what we thought was simple to get a buck to go on the back and get it resprayed potentially. Actually, we can't find that model year, which is 2013. We can find up to 2012, and we can find the later ones, but there seems to be a shortage of these ones. So probably going to have to come up with a new plan, but fingers crossed. So we're at the Cambridge American Cemetery, which is just behind us, which is incredibly moving. If you've ever seen Saving Private Ryan, you walk in there and see all the gravestones, it's quite moving. I was sitting on the bench just looking at the fields here, watching the 3 combines which are here, which is quite enjoyable actually. And Graham's taking the food round. That was Graham in the pickup, taking them all their lunch. So he's like our trolley dolly, and he's getting all the food out there, keeping them the army fed. It's nice food. I'll tell you what today is. So we get it's a lasagna, we already know. Sorry, Tom's pointed out, I've already talked to Carol about that. And tomorrow's chicken pie. So we do a thing on the telephone where you basically click on yes or no of what food you're having. And if, for example, we've got 12 lorries but only got, say, 3 lorries which are operating on the farm today, they'll click. And then if, for example, they're not clicking tomorrow, so look, these guys here that love combines, that they come out to look at the combines. So every day we get people coming to watch the combines, and it's pretty exciting for children, and adults don't really grow out of it, they just pretend they do. And I mean, watching your combines mooching around in the field here, just on a vantage point up here, is actually quite I suppose it's a moment of pride, really. And yeah, it's quite lovely to take 5 minutes out, talk to this young man. So I was just talking to Tom Spencer at Atara, and he's helping me with call and put options and things like that. So the business is currently doing diesel, so white diesel effectively, and just telling me the position we're in. So we've done it on 16,000 litres, so I'm sort of basically in training wheels here and having a go. And currently we're 6p better off in the market at doing this, so we're earning about £700 a month extra on by doing the futures on the fuel. I wanted to try and get some cover. I got it in my mind, rightly or wrongly, because of the imbalance in the world and the pressures where the basically oil and gas is, and with the Trump tariffs and things, that there was going to be an effect on the prices, which, you know, you could argue 6p there is. So I've covered ourselves on the fertiliser for next year. I've done 100% fert on that, and rightly or wrongly, I don't know if it's the right decision yet, but it's gone up £40-50 a tonne more than when I did it. So you could say it's the right thing, where we've got a long way to go till next March, April, when we need it. And then we're on the fuel, we're currently £700 a month better off, where we're still buying the physical, but we're getting the payment back on the monthly payment, so I'm happy with that. And I did one out on the French Matif market on the milling wheat, and I did it at 249, and currently we're about a 211. So I'm wrong on that. So we're currently wrong. I've got a long way to go. I've got another 4 months, so maybe it will come right. I don't understand why the market's so depressed in terms of the funds and things. I'm going to have to talk to somebody and perhaps see if they'll come and chat to us all about it, because I don't understand if everybody's reporting lower markets, lower yields, etc. In terms of tonnage. I'm amazed that the market is so poor, and I think me and the rest of Europe are hoping that the market's going to jump up dramatically without there having to be a sort of a world event which creates unhappiness for some people. So, see what happens. People often say to me, "Do you gamble?" Which I don't, in the sense of putting a bet on or something like that. Other than but then saying that I run around the yard trying to do bets with people. But I think that's just being naughty. But actually, farming as a whole is a massive gamble. Everything's a gamble. Gamble when to sell, gamble when to buy. Fuel or buying fertilizer, when to sell, when to sell the grain, when to harvest, whether to dry. Everything's a gamble in farming. Actually, farming on the whole is an enormous gamble. And you could almost say that who else would plant millions of pounds worth of crop a year, take a gamble on what it's going to do in terms of the weather and what it's going to and the growing costs are going to be and what the output's going to be. When you look at it like that, farming is a frightening industry in terms of cash flow demand and the risk of gamble. It's seriously dark outside. We are really fighting harvest now through the showers this week. Fingers crossed they will keep going, and whatever this dark sky thinks it's going to do doesn't do, and we get the mustard finished. So if we can try and get the mustard done the next day or so, that puts us in a better position. We'll probably look at dispatching some combines up to Lincolnshire, get the beans done, then we can just fully concentrate on wheat. So I had a lovely card come in the post, super young man here, which is George Pridgeon, age 4. Tom is actually zooming in for the first time ever. And he came to the open day, had a great time, and he's going to convince his grandfather and father to buy a Fendt tractor. So there you go, Agco. You need to go find this family and go see them. So just had to go to the doctor's surgery. I haven't actually been to see a doctor in a doctor's surgery for well over 10 years. But anyway, they were very good to me. So inheritance tax. So I thought I had a really simple solution, which was basically get my £15 million cover to at 48 when I started doing this. So 5 months in, heading towards 6 months, and going through the process with Aviva. They've come back and they said, we'll give you 5 million. And then when April 2026 comes along, when the policy, we will then look at doing the other 10 million. Because there is no anything out from the government reference the inheritance tax, so they won't do the full policy. Well, that's a complete disaster for me, because that means basically get to April 2026 when the government then imposes the 20%, and then if I die within another 4 or 5 months of them fiddling about, then they've got almost a year of you can't claim within the first period. I just think this is beastly of Aviva. For 5 months they've messed me about. So I wanted the paperwork, so from the doctor's surgery, etc., from Aviva. So can you send it to me, please, so I can go somewhere else? No, they refused to send it to me. So I had to go to the doctor's surgery to go and pick the paperwork they sent them, so that then I can look to see who else I can go with. But I mean, I'm quietly really upset with Aviva about this, the way they've treated me for 5 months. And it was a big cover. And the fact they're using the excuse of the fact that the inheritance tax isn't in place yet. That's the whole point of Aviva. That we get the life assurance in place before the tax comes in. Or I live in fear that I might have an accident or die or whatever, and all I've worked for is gone. I feel so annoyed about it. It makes you almost want to just sell up and move abroad. That's how I feel. Anyway, I'm sure it'll pass and all will be well tomorrow. But so fingers crossed, Royal London, who we're now talking to, will come up trumps and the situation goes away. But thanks ever so much, everybody, and look forward to seeing you. Where are we, Tom? We're Wednesday, aren't we? So look forward to seeing you Sunday. Oh, yes, and Tom's saying subscribers. So carry on clicking, nearly at 25,000. Could be exciting. Might do a giveaway at 25,000. Tom's now raising an eyebrow, but the other Tom's really keen on doing giveaways. Take care. Bye-bye.